You're now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show. Obviously, that's then passed. You're at the reunion. What then happens next? Like, you come out of Love Island, you've suddenly built this big brand that people know who you are. Like you said, you go down the street and everyone wants to know what's going on in your relationship.
Yeah.
How did you cope with that, like, level of visibility?
I think it's difficult at first. I think like a lot of people find it difficult because you don't really know what's going on. You don't really know what to do, basically, because you're like, all right, I've just come out and I've got all these people that are following me or whatever, watching me. It's like, what do I do, kind of thing. So for me, the thing to keep me sane, I just went back to football. Like straight, I was always going back to football anyway because I was on a contract, but I just went straight back to football. So I think the first weekend I was back, I went to Brighton for like a pre-season. So that kind of kept me level, because otherwise I would have just been like sitting at home like, what am I doing? Which happens to a lot of people. But yeah, I just went straight back to football, and then I let everything else kind of just come through bit by bit. So then obviously you have management speaking to you. Then you got to figure out what direction you want to go in. Do you want to do, I don't know, do you want to start doing comedy? Do you want to start doing modeling? Do you just want to do like PAs or so you have to kind of figure all of that out. But I did modeling beforehand, so for me I was like, modeling's an easy route for me. I like fashion. I like, wearing nice stuff. So just something that I can do pretty easily. So
yeah, it must be so difficult to navigate though, right? Like you said, everyone's looking at you. And how much do you like chat to the other islanders as you go out? Like, because what I always see is, you're such almost like a family in the villa. Is there moments when you will come out, like a WhatsApp group pops up and then you're all like, oh my God, have you guys dealt with this? Do you guys stay in touch on the outside?
Yeah, no, we do stay in touch. I think everyone's different. Some people might just stay away from everyone. But for me personally, I pretty much speak to like all the people that I was cool with in the villa. I still speak to them. We do go to a lot of like events as well. So you end up seeing the same people at events. So I think we've got like a group chat with the guys. We all talk pretty regularly, like a few times a week. And then I'm still in touch with like a lot of the girls. So
cool.
Yeah.
And has there been any sort of like romance with any of the other girls from like any of the Love Islands or any other sort of people that you maybe something could have been?
Between me?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say anything on that.
I love that.
I ain't gonna say anything on that. But yeah, there's cool people in the villa, like people that I get along with. So
cool, good. Well, that's a good sign in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, in terms of then, obviously now, what's next for you? Obviously, you mentioned that you're back in football. Is that the direction you're like leaning towards, or are you still kind of dabbling in the reality TV vibe?
So I'm still kind of dabbling between the two at the moment. Not so much reality TV, but just like doing like social media content creating. I've kind of started football content creating as well. So I'm kind of just playing football, and then in the other time doing like content, modeling, and just like working with brands pretty much.
Nice. Yeah. What was it like? Because you mentioned that you pretty much went straight back into football.
Yeah.
What were the club like when you were in Love Island, and how understanding were they about you being like, right, I'm back, let me back?
I think, well, my coach and my like chairman knew before I left. So obviously I had to tell him, and I told him before I signed my contract in like March. So I told him way before, and I was like, I might be going on Love Island. So before I signed a contract, like, let me just make sure that you know that. If you don't want me to sign it, that's fine. But do you know what I mean? If you do, then just that might happen. So they was kind of understanding the situation. Obviously, I mean, clearly I can't be bad at football for them to let me go, you know what I mean? And they know I keep fit, so they was understanding. When they came back, everyone was just happy to see me. I must have came back like 2 weeks before the season started, so it was good timing as well. So I still was there for the start of the season. So
brilliant! It's literally like you planned it. Exactly when you left was the right time.
Yeah, exactly.
To come
if
back.
I stayed any longer, I would have missed the start of the season. Not that I would have been complaining, but